Hey friend, if you're watching this, you are clearly an intelligent individual and you have great taste. Plus, you like off-roading, or froading as we call it. There are so many ways to froad. In the sand, in the mud, you can froad on a trail, or in the open desert, or I don't know, say, going up the whoops on Zoo Road in San Felipe on race week in a borrowed rental car loaded full of dudes at 2 a.m. after spending the night supporting a bunch of single moms. But unlike that completely made up example that definitely did not happen or create a whole bunch of work putting the body back together before I could give the car back, if you do go froading, you should know your limits. I mean, if only to prevent both inner fenders, the lower front bumper, and the entire skid plate from getting ripped off the car. Hypothetically. You should also know what to do in case you get stuck. Now, we all know about winches and sand ramps and tow ropes, but what happens if there's no one else around or the vehicle you get stuck in isn't equipped with this stuff because it's a 2015 Chevy Traverse from Enterprise? Then what do you do? There it is. Today we're going to show you 5 simple ways to get unstuck, the supplies you'll need, and a few tips along the way. Number 1, airing down your tires. Look, I know it sounds obvious, but did you know there are situations where airing down your tires is actually a last resort? That's right. Although airing down your tire pressure to 8 to 15 PSI can sometimes be a quick fix for getting unstuck, like say when you're in your local sand dunes, you're around camp, or you have compressed air nearby, if you still have a long distance left on your trip or you don't have access to compressed air, then airing down your tires can put excess load on the sidewalls, generating a ton of heat, and if driven long enough, can cause the layers of the sidewall to separate, leading to tire failure, leaving you without a spare at best or completely stranded at worst. So only use this method if you have access to compressed air. Otherwise, keep it in your back pocket just in case things get really bad. Number 2, the rock. Nope, not that one. This one.
Stand back, I'm gonna rock it! You quit it, it's not working.
As simple as it sounds, sometimes all you need to do is slowly move forward until you just begin to break traction and then put it in reverse and back it on up. Each time you change direction, it compresses the ground under the tire and clears debris. As you continue to rock back and forth, you're going to pick up distance and you're going to gain momentum at the same time because you're rocking off of the walls on the far ends of your ever-growing hard patch, until eventually you picked up enough speed that you can get unstuck. The key here is not to go ham on the throttle though. This is not a tractor pull. You don't want to spin your tires digging yourself deeper, so take your time. Number 3, building a makeshift road. Using sticks or rocks to build a temporary road can be a fast way to get yourself unstuck. Oh, hey. But there are 2 tricks to know in order for this to work well. The first is to dig out the sand in front of your tires if you plan on getting out going forward, or behind your tires if you plan on getting unstuck going backwards. The decision on which way you go really depends on terrain. If it's uphill in front of you, then you're gonna wanna go backwards. Now, if the mud, sand, or snow is deeper behind you, or it's uphill going backwards, then you guessed it, you're going forward, my friend. And I should say, you're not just clearing a path for the rear tires. You wanna clear a path for all 4 tires. And if possible, you wanna dig down deep enough till you can darn near see the bottom of the tire. This reduces the amount of force required to get the vehicle moving again and improves your odds that you'll get unstuck instead of just spinning your tires. Oh, and if there's any other part of the vehicle like the frame or the diff that's hitting the ground, you're gonna wanna clear a path for that as well. Hey, you got this from here? Oh yeah. You're gonna need this. Thanks. Now that you have a nice path cleared in front of all 4 tires, look around for sticks or rocks or really anything that you can use to build a makeshift road. If possible, you want to push those underneath the tires and lay them lengthwise so they're facing the same direction as the vehicle. Longer is better, but ensuring they create as small an uphill in relation to the tire as possible is key. Now, if you have enough material, you want to make this makeshift road wider than the tire. That way, as the vehicle gets unstuck, if it shifts, it won't fall off your road. Make sure each path is dense with material. This way it doesn't get pushed into the ground and disappear as you're trying to get unstuck. And the longer you make them, it gives you more time to get up to speed so you can get unstuck. Now, 4 feet is okay, but if you can make them 6 or 8 feet, that's even better. We once got stuck at Baja pre-running for a race with no one around. I mean, no one anywhere. Luckily, we were able to get a hold of our crew who was hours away. Talked to them about what was going on. They drove all the way back to the border to pick up plywood at Home Depot, ripped it into 24-inch sheets in the parking lot, and then drove back to our not so dry lake bed. We then hiked the material to the car and proceeded to spend the next 17 hours building a temporary road where we would take the plywood from behind the car and move it in front of the car in knee-deep mud until we got that thing back on dry land. Thank you, baby Jesus. The point being, if you get stuck, you might have to get creative and use whatever you have access to help you get out. Number 4, the lift and tuck. Another way to get your butt up out of there is to lift each one of the drive wheels up high enough that you can either backfill the hole or tuck some rocks, wood, or really any sturdy object under the tire. I mean, once we used our own hood. This will create a temporary hard surface and maybe all you need to get unstuck. Now, take a note from the last step and dig a path in front of your non-drive wheels, and this will improve your odds of getting unstuck even more. Number 5, the poor man's paddle tire. I've seen this method work really well in mud, snow, or sand. Now, you'll need a 2x4, a 4x4, or a big ass stick, and a ratchet strap. Set the wood on top of the tire so that the length of the wood is running perpendicular to the rotation of the tire, creating kind of a paddle or a scoop. And any extra material, you want to put that out beyond the car, that way it doesn't come into contact with the frame or the body messing up your car. Then wrap your ratchet strap around the wood, around the tire, and around the wheel. And make sure the ratchet strap is out of the way enough that it's not going to strike the ground as it rotates or scratch your wheel. And then ratchet strap that bitch real tight. Now, if you have enough material to do 2 drive wheels, that is even better. Now jump in and slowly drive out. You'll notice that the tire's gonna spin until the wood hits the ground. The key here is to keep your wheel speed low because we are putting a tremendous load on the ratchet strap. Too much load or too much wheel speed can cause the ratchet strap to break or the wood to shift and contact your body. So keep your wheel speed controlled and this poor man's paddle tire might get you unstuck and rolling. Like we've touched on a few times, throttle control is key when trying to get unstuck, as is taking your time and preparing for each one of these methods. If you rush, you are almost certainly doomed to fail. And remember, being stuck out on the trail is still way better than being stuck in the office any day of the week. So take your time, be present, and enjoy all of the crazy things the trail throws at you. There are so many other non-traditional ways to get unstuck that we didn't cover. We would love to hear your go-to technique, so please share it in the comments so that others might learn a way that could potentially save their butts one day. And jump down. And thank you for watching. Wow, it came out really good. Oh, thanks, man.